Hi guys, this is Rivoli with another product review, and today we are going to have a look at something rather special, a handmade fountain pen. And the fountain pen that I have here is made by Stylo Duboc or Stylo Duboc. You can find him on Instagram, Facebook, and he also has a website. Just Google him. There's also a blog post that accompanies this YouTube video review where I will link his website. So if you're interested in the fountain pen, check him out. What is all the fuss about handmade fountain pens? Well, the Lamy Safari is maybe something that you, and there's another pen rolling in that I'm going to talk about in a minute as well. The Lamy Safari, if you start using fountain pens or something like that, that is probably one of the pens that you begin with. But then as you dive into the hobby and you know what you like and what you don't like, maybe at some point you don't feel like having a mass market fountain pen anymore or any longer, and you want maybe something rather special, which is when you then maybe want to look into a handmade fountain pen. And Stylo Duboc does make handmade fountain pens, so-called artisan pens. Now, a little while ago, I have two pens of him, the Rivoli and the Untitled. A little while ago, I have already reviewed this Untitled ebonite polyester fountain pen here. So the barrel is ebonite, has a number 6 nib with the Stylo Duboc logo on here, and then it has like a polyester cap here that is kind of mesmerizing. So if you're interested in this pen here, have a look at my YouTube channel, have a look at my website scrively.org, or just Google for Rivoli and Stylo Duboc, and then you'll find the review of this pen here. But I got two pens from Stylo, and the second pen, and this is the one that I'm going to review now, is the Rivoli. And I thought it's spring soon, so what better than reviewing an orange pen with an orange ink. I have inked it with J. Herbin Orange Indienne. French pen, French ink. Stylo Duboc, it's a French name, of course. He's in France, where he makes those pens. So let's have a look at that nice card, a certificate that you always get with each of your handmade fountain pens. So this one here is called Rivoli. It's number 347. I don't know if it's like the 347th Rivoli that he made or the 347th fountain pen in general. Probably rather the latter, because the Untitled here has a 339, and I don't think that he has made over 300 of each pens. However, it would be good for him. But I think it's like the, maybe, whatever, doesn't really matter. It says it has a Jowo number 6 fine nib. I've swapped the nib out because I didn't like that nib, which of course is not Alexandre's fault. It's just a stock Jowo nib. So I swapped that out for a Bock extra fine nib. And I think it was a Bock extra fine, a Bock nib in there before. But also doesn't matter. I swapped it out for a Bock extra fine, as a matter of fact. The material of that pen is all ebonite. It's not ebonite and polyester as that one here, but like the cap here is also ebonite and other materials as well. We're gonna have a look at that in a minute. And it's made in May 2016, right? Pen costs 220 euro, roundabout. Comes with that really nice one pen pouch sleeve here, made in a leather that accompanies the pen's color. That the one here had a black or dark blue leather pouch coming with it. So Stylo really takes care of that as well. You slide the pen out and that is the pen. Very, very nice pen. I love that pen. Orange ebonite as said. On top of the cap it has some kind of a whitish material that looks a little bit like, it reminds me always of a shell when I look at it. I don't know why. It's just like the way it is, but has some, it's white and it has some like grayish or whatever stripes in there, which looks really, really nice. You see the gap, this difference here is not exactly the same all the way around. I don't know if it's the way it's supposed to be. It's a handmade pen. I don't mind it. I find it's beautiful. Orange cap, also really nice center band pattern going on around here, sort of like reminiscent of that pattern here. And we have a similar pattern here at the bottom of the pen. Those bands here that look a little bit blackish, they're actually massive silver, sterling silver. So that's why they're a little bit blackish, the contact with the oxygen in the air. I could probably polish that out, but I just, you know, I just find it really matches like that, you know, darker orange. It sort of looks vintagey to me. I really like it. And then we have another silver band down here. That looks like a blind cap or something. This is not a piston filler. It's a cartridge converter filler. Also comes with a Schmidt converter, I think it is. Then you uncap the pen with probably only half a turn or something. So that also makes that pen an excellent note taker, right? You can't post the pen. It's not designed to be posted. You see the threading in here. All that also looks really handmade. Very, very nice. The ebonite, it has that typical ebonite smell. It's not very strong, and now that I hold the pen like this, I don't notice it, but when I lift it up, bring it up to my nose, I will notice the ebonite smell. Then you see a handmade ebonite section here. The section is fairly short and fairly thin, but it's very comfortable for me to hold. Very nice to write with that pen. Perfect length for me. Nice balance. Very well balanced pen. Also comfortable for longer writing sessions. It has quite a step down here, but when I grab the pen, that step rests here somewhere behind my thumb. So I don't really feel that. I don't really notice that. It doesn't bother me at all. So also that is very nice. And then as said, I have put in a number 6 Bock nib, extra fine nib. I think it was a nib that was on a Namiso Orion or on a Namiso Nova or something like that I have. So I've swapped the nib out. Bock nib, nice nibs, extra fine, true to the size, extra fine, nice stock nib. Of course, you can swap that nib out to whatever you want. You know, Bock does also make, you know, gold nibs, titanium nibs or whatever. So if you get that pen, just jam in any Bock nib you feel suits your preference. Whatever, gold, titanium, steel, extra fine, double broad, whatever Bock makes. Then open the pen like that. You see that handmade ebonite section with the threading here. That's a couple of threads. And then in here we have the Schmidt converter, kind of large converter, quite large converter. Holds a very decent, generous amount of ink. Also very nice. And then here, yeah, you see just all the inner threadings of where you screw in the section. Screw the section back in. That's, as said, a couple of threads. And we're good to go with that beautiful, beautiful pen. Let's do a size comparison of the pen to a Lamy Safari. The pen is a little shorter than a Lamy Safari. When it's capped, it's probably shorter exactly by the factor of this upper part of the cap here. And once we uncap the pen, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, also a wee bit shorter than a Lamy Safari. And the section diameter is roughly about the same, I would say. So I think it is fair to say that if you can deal or like with or like the size of a Lamy Safari, then this is a pen that you might, whose size and dimensions you might also like. Weight, let's check the weight. I mean, capped, the pen is definitely heavier than a Lamy Safari. That large cap here is quite heavy. Let's see uncapped. Now this is pretty unscientific. This is really just a feeling thing. That pen here is heavier. Not a lot heavier, but it is heavier than a Lamy Safari. Last but not least, writing sample. Bock nib, of course. So now I'm doing a writing sample of a Bock nib, not a Stylo Duboc pen. Nice. Bock nibs are really nice. Stylo Duboc. Handmade fountain pen. Handmade ebonite pen. The name of that pen is, this is the, not the Anshin, the Rivoli. I always forget which one is the Rivoli and which one is the Anshin. This here is the Rivoli with a number 6 nib. And the nib that I have on here is extra fine. That's that with the writing sample. I really like this pen. I find it's a very, very unique pen. Also, it doesn't have a clip, which also does make it very unique. I don't know if it's an issue. For some people it's an issue if a pen doesn't have a clip. Alexandre does those pen handmade, as said. So maybe if you somehow want a clip, he could maybe make one for you. Just get in touch with him and ask him. But to me, yeah, you know, the pen rolls away at times, but on my desk, normally in everyday use, it's not much of a problem. So I really, really like that pen. I hope that review of that handmade fountain pen here was useful to you, and I'll be glad to see you at the next review. Bye bye.